Yep, Rocky one.
Hello and welcome. It's good to see everyone on a beautiful day. So amazing how 1 week makes a difference in Texas, right? Not only with the weather. But it's good to see everyone, and we're going to open with prayer. Dr. Bartley.
Two things to recognize before we get started. First was 2 weeks ago today, we had our 85th celebration, anniversary celebration, and a grand time was had by all, and many thanks to Patty Caperton, who was want to get something done, just let Patty do it.
Yeah.
Second thing, I want to just remind the club that Tuesday, a very Jean Brown, who was a member of this club and whose husband was a long-time member of this club, her late husband. And so, but it was a well-attended service and it was a good service. And I did remind the congregation about how much Jean enjoyed Rotary. And so she was, after she joined. So with that, would you join me in the spirit of prayer? Oh, yeah, Tracy's had surgery. Yes, yes, she was last week, wasn't it? So.
Tracy's what?
Tracy had surgery.
Tracy Brown, our secretary.
I was supposed to come and take her because Bobby Haas's wife, I think, has had surgery, cataract surgery, if I remember correctly, also on that same day. I was supposed to fill in for Tracy and Bobby last week, but we had ice. We had ice last week, and this week I'm in shorts. Go figure.
You did a good job.
You did a great job.
I did a good job. I didn't make any mistakes, did I? Join me in the spirit of prayer. Eternal God, we give you thanks for this absolutely gorgeous late winter morning day. It's just beautiful outside. We give you thanks. It gives us the opportunity, the hope that spring is on the way. And we give you thanks for the beauty of the day. We give you thanks for this club, for the work that we do in our community. We ask your spirit to be upon that, be upon all of our work, to be upon this club this day, to bless this food, to take it to the nourishment of our bodies, and keep us in your peace. In the name of Christ, amen.
Now we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance read by Val Ostek.
Thank you. Please join me in honoring our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now we will be entertained with the national anthem.
By the dawn's early light, what a proud day we hailed, as the twilight's last gleam, through the west and bright stars, through the perilous night. For the red and horse we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare upon mercy in air, they flew through the night, that the red was still there. Oh, sing us the star-spangled banner yet wave, o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave.
Right on, have a good have a seat.
Right on. Right on.
And our president-elect, James, will introduce our guest.
Yes.
One clap.
Excellent. Well, most of our guests are part of the presentation, and I will introduce them shortly. But I do want to introduce Sarah, who is a prospective member. Sarah, would you like to briefly say something about yourself?
So my name is Sarah Perugel. I'm new to the area. We just recently moved to the Las Colinas area over the past 2 months. My granddad and family were part of the Rotary Club originally from India, so he was the president of the Rotary Club locally in their district there. And then when we came to Chicago originally, he was also involved with the group there. So I figured, I'm kind of young, but I figured I would just come in and see what opportunities were there locally with the Rotary. I've always had an interest because of that. And I also enjoy the community service. So I'm just here to learn more about it. And Shane and Linda have a great correspondence. So I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for being here, and welcome, Sarah Perugel.
At this time, Patty Clifton would like to give a few words regarding the 85th anniversary celebration.
Thank you, Linda. I just wanted to thank you, members of the committee who helped make our 85th anniversary celebration a success. Kathy Howard, Robert Alsop, Robert Nelson, Rick Lindsay, Bill LaBar, Terry Oliver, Chris Dodson, Bob Bourgeois, and our president, Linda. Sandra, thank you, and Shane. And Shane, I did bring extra programs, so you'd be sure to have the words to Rotary.
Thank you.
I'll remember that the next time I guess.
I got excited about
Ryan, and I think, is Ryan here today?
No.
Jordan, and Laz, I think he had a conflict. A lot of people are here today that I want to thank. And so we, in looking over things, I think Lindy and I determined that we had about 75 people attend. That's exactly, we had said between 75 and 85, and the weather was a little off that night, so we had 75, and I'm really excited about that. You know, it was a great look back. We could honor members who had been president of the club, and we can honor some of the widows of the past presidents. But now it's time to look forward with people just like you, Sarah. So we welcome you and others to come in and join us in community service. Thank you all again. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. Now we have a presentation to make to a member that has been very involved in the club and continues to be involved, and is so faithful to showing up to every meeting, and we appreciate him tremendously. So I want to have Sean, President-elect, come forward, and past President Robert, if you'll come forward and make this presentation, and John Van Buren, will you come forward?
Not here.
How about you, John?
So, John, I'll let everyone say a few words, but thank you for being very involved in supporting the call.
No, we can't hear you.
Can I hear you?
Thank you. John, thank you for being a faithful member and supporting the Paul Harris Fellowship. And with those proceeds, we were able to make a larger difference with a lot of individuals, and it's greatly appreciated. And Robert has a pen for you.
Well, John, in recognition of your support of Paul Harris, we have your Paul Harris +2 pin, so I want to present that to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're going to be a man of few words.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Shane.
Wow. Sure.
Well, the Duke, I'm glad that you're being recognized for your hard work, not only in this club, but as the secretary and gopher for our governor. We do appreciate that, and your involvement in keeping us connected with the important ministry of Crisis Ministries and all the good they do here in Irving. And I love partnering with Irving, with Crisis Ministries as a church, but also as this club. So thank you.
I'm overwhelmed. I told somebody the other day that it took about 25 years, but I finally worked my way down from CEO to chief flunky. And with that, thank you.
Muy buenas tardes a todos. Es un gusto estar con todos ustedes
en este lindo día. Amen. Yeah, some people were paying attention. Yes, I'm a Spanish speaker. Not everyone here probably knows that. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I speak Spanish and how that came to be. We do have a wonderful program today. And I want to make sure that we recognize the students, but I'll give them a few more minutes to finish their last bites of food while I make my comments. So in between high school and college, I was an exchange student with Youth for Understanding. And I went to this country called Venezuela that I knew nothing about, but I wanted to learn Spanish. And the waiting list for Spain was really long, so I wasn't going to get to go to Spain. So I went to a country that I'd never heard of before, and it was the best experience of my life. Lots of transformation and growing up occurred. I'm still working on that though. This club is wonderful, and little did I know then that there are active Rotary clubs down there in Venezuela where I was. But while I was there, I learned to speak Spanish, which allowed me to have many jobs when I came back to the States, including I was a Spanish teacher in a private high school for a couple of years that y'all probably didn't know either. But then I wanted to find a way that I could give back. After having such a great experience, I still keep in touch with my host family back in Venezuela after all these years. And so I got contacted by an organization called Education First, and they wanted to know if I would be interested in hosting exchange students or becoming a coordinator, and I ended up doing both. So I serve as a regional coordinator of exchange students for Education First, and that gives me the connection to these students here. Sarah and I have hosted 5 students, and Hugo Vrayman is the 5th student that we've hosted. He's the only male that's taken a chance on. The rest were girls. They're all wonderful. So, Hugo, I'm going to invite you to come up now that your mouth is full and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Shane told me to first introduce myself in my own language, so that's what I'm going to do first. Ik ben Hugo en ik ben 17 jaar oud en ik kom uit Nederland. I will now replay in English. I'm Hugo, I'm 17 years old and I'm from the Netherlands. I graduated from high school and I want to do something. I didn't want to go to college yet, so I want to do something fun, and I thought a year to the United States should be fun. I didn't know where I should get placed or what I should expect, so in May, I heard I get placed by Shane and in Irving, and I will go to Irving High School. In August, I left to here, and after that, I had so far a fun time. I play at the Irving High School soccer team. I have a fun time there. I have a fun time with Shane and his family. We do a lot of fun stuff in the weekends, and every Sunday I go with Shane to the church. I like that too.
I paid him to say that.
Very good.
Great.
What I think one of the most things I like from being here in the United States is that we here play soccer at school and not at the club. So I'm able to play soccer 5 days a week and have a lot of games, like 2 times a week. So that's all what I really like here.
What's the soccer record right now for Irving High? The record. Your winnings.
We won 7, lost 2, and tied 1. Does anybody have any questions or want to know something?
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food here?
Yeah.
I think I like the fast foods here, and I think what I like the most is a burger or a Chick-fil-A.
And what do you miss most, being in the United States?
I think my family and my friends back in the Netherlands, that's what I miss the most. But still, my dad came here one time to visit me because he has to be in Dallas for Christmas. But he came some earlier, so I had a weekend with him, so it was fun. But I didn't saw my mom and my brother and sister for like 7 months now, so that's kind of long.
Okay.
Maria, are you next? And Hugo didn't mention it, but he's also being recruited to play next year at the collegiate level here in the United States. So he's likely going to be playing soccer next year for a college. So we'll let you know when we know more about that. Are you ready?
Hola, mi nombre es María, soy de España y tengo 15 años. My name is Maria, I'm from Spain, and I'm 15. My favorite sport is swimming. And I'm a swimmer, I'm a water polo player too. Oh, sorry. And I like it here. I like the United States as well. So, does someone has a question? So,
What was the most surprising thing about Texas?
Well, in Spain, we don't really use cars. We walk a lot. Like you walk everywhere, and here you use cars to go everywhere. So that surprised me a lot. Yeah.
So what types of activities are you involved in at school?
I'm a theater. I'm in the drama club. I'm in the theater K. We're making a crucible right now, and I'm in the swim. I'm in the swim team. I'm in varsity. I'm in the dance team. I'm a water polo player too. And yeah, that's it.
What's your favorite food here?
Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah, it's good.
Is Spanish different? Spanish.
Yes, really different. Chiara, do you want to go in?
Ready?
Bonjour, je m'appelle Chiara, j'ai 16 ans, je suis française et j'habite à Aix-en-Provence. Good morning, my name is Chiara, I'm 16, I'm from France and I live in Aix-en-Provence. So I arrived here in August and I discovered a lot of things because I've only been to New York in the United States and Texas is really different. And I really like the Tex-Mex food. And there is a lot of things different from France, like everything is really big in Texas. So it's a little bit scary sometimes, but that's fine. Does anybody have a question?
What's your favorite thing to do here?
Shopping.
I knew you were going to say that. Shopping.
And what do you miss most?
My dog and my family too, of course, and the French food, like fresh croissant.
Yes. Other questions? Did you hear that? What part of France?
I'm from the south of France, next to the Côte d'Azur.
From Provence?
Yes.
Other questions?
Long Island?
Have you been to La Madeleine?
Yes, I've ever been, but honestly, it's not really French. So. But it's good.
Not real.
So this is something I love. The exchange students enhance the education of our students here in Irving. They benefit the teachers and help provide lively and different instructions, different learning experiences. They have a different perspective on U.S. and world history than our students. So I think it's a wonderful thing. We call it exchange because we believe there's a cultural exchange that takes place between the students and their families that they stay with, as well as the students with the other students that are here. So it is a wonderful opportunity, and Rotary has an exchange program as well. We can both send students to other countries as well as receive students here. So that is something we might want to consider in the future, because it's a wonderful way to connect with people all over the world. It makes our club look good, and it's a wonderful service to our community, as I was telling you. Are there any other questions for any of the students or about the exchange process in general?
How long are they here?
So all of these students are here for the whole school year. Different programs, including the Education First, also do semester-long programs. So they choose whether they want to do a semester or a full school year. And at the end of the year, they do have to go back. So even someone like Hugo that may be coming back to study in the U.S., he has to go home first, and then he can come back on a new visa. Good question.
Is there an age range or what is the?
Yes, I believe the youngest you can be is
15, is that correct?
I think so. You
for ASF. So Kiara and Hugo are with Education First that I work with, and Maria's with ASF, which is another really good company. Robert.
Is a North Texas university with the mascot kangaroos possibly recruiting him to play soccer or?
Unfortunately, I think he's going to go to a school that actually has a D1 team. And my wonderful alma mater is a Division III, so they would have let me play soccer there. Yeah. And I didn't make the varsity team in high school. I could have played at Austin College. Different caliber. Did you have a question, Bob?
Yes, is this a two-way deal? Do we send people from Irving over there?
So in these instances, we do not. And per the U.S. State Department, it doesn't need to be that way, and they don't always encourage that, and it's strictly voluntary. The only monetary benefit is you can write off $50 a month for food. But otherwise, the people that do it out of the goodness of their heart. If it was a Rotary exchange, our club would be required to find, if we sent students, they would require us to find places for as many students as we were sending. So very good question, and I think we could do that. And the other thing, the Rotary exchange is a little bit different because instead of having one family for the whole time, they usually try and get 3 or 4 families throughout the school year. So you're only required to host 2 or 3 months in an ideal situation, but sometimes there are only 1 or 2 willing participants. So it's a little bit different. Hugo has rode a donkey at my sister's place out in the country. I know Maria's gone to, did you go to a rodeo? Kiara went to one. So yes, we do try and get them to important cultural events. Kiara didn't know that cowboys and rodeos were a real thing. So that was one of the things that surprised her that she learned.
What about American football? Do you like it at all?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they understand it, but they appreciated it. And I made Hugo go to a Dallas Cowboys versus Texans preseason game. And then we went to some of the local high school games so that he'd get a better idea. And he came with me to a very fun Super Bowl party. He cheered for the wrong team, but you know, somebody had to lose.
Now we know both their teams.
They did.
Have one emphasis.
They did the Fort Worth, the stockyard.
Stockyards, take them here.
Yes, I have not taken Hugo yet, but that's on our bucket list.
Ride the train.
Kiara and Maria. Maria, you've been. Kiara, have you been to the stockyards in Fort Worth?
The train takes.
Cool.
them right to Stockyards.
What is done?
Right on.
Great train. Take them downtown Grapevine too.
Yeah,
Grapevine.
great. Thank you. Well, that's it. I appreciate y'all. It's always dangerous when you guys let me have the microphone. I promised Linda I'd be on my best behavior. I didn't sing any inappropriate songs this time, so you're welcome.
Thank you, Jay. We appreciate you introducing us to the foreign exchange students, and I think it's tremendous when a family opens their door and invites someone from another country. It, I think, is a win-win both ways. So we'll have to strongly consider, with Shane coming on as president in July, that would be a very nice initiative to get our Rotary Club involved in the exchange program. So in closing, does anyone have announcements or anything they need to share before we close?
Let's all be thinking about Ukraine. Let's,
Oh,
nobody said anything.
exactly.
My yellow is solidarity.
I agree, Patty. In fact, let's just take a moment of silence and everyone think of Ukraine and families that are devastated. Thank you. Kathy?
Just to let you know, we've sent out the first notice for flags. We sent that out February 1st. And March 1st, we sent out the second notice. We're going to send out the third notice in 2 weeks, but it really does help. We're still working with the website people because they don't understand this, but we'll get that taken care of. But thank you all very much. Pretty soon, I guess we're going to be building flags. I understand the ceiling fell down. In the storage place. So I don't know what, just the insulation. Roof, yeah, okay, just the ceiling.
Okay.
So evidently.
Thank you, Kathy. We appreciate your tremendous support and time that you invest in the flag program, which allows us to enjoy the revenue to share with individuals, families, nonprofit groups to make a larger difference. So thank you. Anyone else? Okay, the new meeting will be here next week, and hopefully the weather continues to be beautiful and everyone hopefully will show up. And our board meeting will follow the new meeting today, and everyone's invited. And we will close with the four-way test. Shane Webb, thank you.
All right. Please stand with me and let's recite the things in Rotary we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you and have a blessed week.